welcome to What Do You Say Anime. I'm your host, Peter. On today's episode, we will be going over the upcoming summer 2023 anime lineup, talking first of the new properties, and then there's some sequels at the end. Joining me today, we have Miles, Pat, and Jay. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing, and what are your initial thoughts on this upcoming summer season?
Yeah, glad to be here. I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little skeptical in the season, not gonna lie. A little skeptical. There's some stuff I'm gonna watch though for sure. And we'll just see how much I keep up. I've been wrong before, believe it or not. So maybe this will be a good season.
Nice. I'm in the same boat. Not a lot of new original stuff I'm super interested in, but there's at least a couple that are, and there's a big requel coming out for me that I've been excited about for a while. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, definitely a quieter season than this one for me, but I have a couple of sequels that I'm looking forward to. I mean, namely, the elephant in the room is Jujutsu Kaisen, and Bleach looks good as well, in my opinion. So the shonen meathead in me is pretty satisfied. And there's also a couple of new things that I'm really looking forward to. So it's like not a bad season, just not a smash hit season like this one.
Yeah, I agree. I have a pretty lightweight schedule. I think I've only 15 shows on my plan to watch, so this season should be a pretty chill season for me. Yeah,
Only 15.
only
Oh
15.
man. What are you gonna do with all your free time, Pete? Like
I'm,
really?
I don't know, get a girlfriend or something. I don't know. That'd be wild. But let's jump into our first show that we were talking about is Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. In his trash-filled apartment, 24-year-old Akira watches a zombie movie with his lifeless, envious eyes. After spending 3 hard years at an exploitative corporation in Japan, his spirit is broken. He can't muster the courage to confess his feelings to his beautiful coworker. Then one morning, he stumbles upon his landlord eating lunch, which happens to be another tenant. The whole city is swarming with zombies, and even though he's running for his life, Akira has never felt more alive. This is being done by a brand new studio called Bug Films. And the genres are action, comedy, horror, supernatural, and suspense. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the Azam 100 Bucket List of the Dead?
Yeah, I think this looks fun. I really like the preview art. It just sort of seems like it's gonna be like there's I think a zombie shark on it. So I think that a zombie shark tells me everything I need to know about it. I think it'll be like a bit zany and fun and sort of over the top in a lot of places. And I mean, I'm excited to watch that. So I'll definitely give it a go. I know. I think people like the manga. Okay, I'm getting nods from people who know manga more than me, so that's good. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about it. What about you, Pat?
It looks interesting. It's an adult character, which is cool. You know, we don't get those all the time in anime, especially in I believe this is a shonen, right?
Sign in.
Technically, or
Sign in.
seinen. Oh, even better. Cool. I guess we get a lot of adult characters in that, but that'll be a lot of fun. I love the color palette used, like Miles said. Beautiful cover art. Is that Megalodon? I hope it's a Megalodon in the back. It probably won't be, but anything that has a Megalodon is an instant must watch for me. So big shark guy here. So I don't. It just seems like a fun show that will be chaos throughout, which I like. We like controlled chaos or planned chaos. What about you, Jay? What do you think?
Pretty excited for this actually. I've read the first like 3 volumes of the manga, and I'm looking at it. I'm really glad that they kind of captured the colorfulness of the manga, that or at least, the covers and stuff like that. Obviously, it's black and white most of the time. But the casting or sorry, not casting, but production on this is actually pretty cool. So for series composition, that's like kind of the lead writer who kind of helps like storyboard and stuff like that. We have Seiko Hiroshi, who was also the series composition for Mob Psycho.
Oh, nice.
He did Jujutsu Kaisen as well as the script for Jujutsu Kaisen season one. He was a production assistant on a lot of Gurren Lagann. He did all of Mob Psycho actually, and also did the series composition for the first season of Vinland Saga and Chainsaw Man. So like this guy is pretty good. Like he has been put through his paces. And then the director is Kazuki Kawago, who is the director of Komi-san, which we have mixed feelings about, but still a pretty solid adaptation, all things considered, in my opinion. So like I think that this is something that if it's done like it should be done well, and I think that it'll be kind of like a breakout of the season if it like among the originals if it does really well.
Yeah, a couple things that stood out for me watching the PV. I like how they use the color palette with blood. So not all the blood is just red. Like sometimes it's purple and yellow and kind of like it reminds me of just like a one of those things that you pop at like graduations. It's like "Woo," like some confetti stuff. Like that's what the blood reminded me of, which was like a really fun, interesting twist to like a zombie since this is more like comedy focused. I guess I don't know. I guess Jay, is it pretty funny? It has the
Yeah,
comedy tag.
it's definitely focused on like comedy and a little bit of like romance. Actually, I would say
Ooh.
it's. I mean, it's still like a seinen shonen esque thing. So like, I wouldn't give it any romance awards or anything, but it was pretty well done.
I do like the design of the. I'm assuming the main female lead who looks like she's in like a tracksuit of some sort.
Yeah,
Um,
she's the main female lead.
yeah.
His good friend with the blonde hair in the tent, like basically like a male Gyaru sort of look going
Okay.
on. Like I really enjoy him as well, and they have great chemistry, like serious good bro chemistry
Love a
that I
good
think
bro
people will
chemistry.
enjoy.
I'm guessing
Looking
Miles is gonna love this because there's a motorcycle involved, and two people riding motorcycles is A+ for Miles.
if there if there's a confession scene during a motorcycle ride, insta 10. I don't know why it hits for me. I've never driven a motorcycle or even ridden on one in my entire life, but I dig it.
The blonde wears like samurai gear too. That's pretty hot, right? Like I don't know. I didn't really have much else. I was gonna try and like segment that, but I don't know. She seems like a cool character too. It looks like she's a main character according to the it lists
Yeah.
the show's 4 mains, even though you would think, given the synopsis, you would think it would be just Akira as the main. Like he would be the
Yeah,
head guy and the others would be supporting. So I'm curious how much they'll be involved. I don't know. I don't think anyone said this yet. Kanabun is doing the theme song as well. I haven't heard it yet. It looks like it's available here, but I would imagine it's good if it's Kanabun, right?
I think they
So
play a bit of it in the PV, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
they did.
Yeah.
Some bad news. His beautiful coworker Ootori does not show up on the character list, and it is a zombie apocalypse show. So,
Ooh.
oof. I'm afraid.
For
Jay
me,
knows
yeah, I guess for like the
I was
newer
gonna say Jay
properties,
knows.
the newer properties, this one to me really stuck out compared to the others. I think the PV just definitely escalated for me with how much I'm looking forward to this. So to me, this is like a must watch. I think for at least like the first episode. I'm definitely gonna go out of my way to watch the first episode as soon as it airs.
Same.
Okay, so the next show we're going to be talking about is The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. So here's the quick synopsis. As the deskmate of Ai Mie, Kade Kumura always has his attention fixed on her. Attracted by her cute charms, all he wishes is that she would look at him with those beautiful eyes beneath her glasses. But just a few days after making her acquaintance, he notices something different about her. Her eyes are squinting and her glasses are missing. Nonetheless, he still finds her adorable. Unexpectedly, Ai has a tendency to forget her glasses. Having terrible vision, she has difficulty going through her day at school. Thankfully, Kade is more than willing to help as Ai starts to rely on him. Kade's feelings for her grow even more. Likewise, despite her short-sightedness, Kade slowly becomes the person Ai always hopes to see. Pat.
It looks cute. Right off the bat. I've actually seen the PV for this one. I usually try to avoid those because I like to be surprised, But they is this a Netflix one too, or no? I thought
No,
maybe no, it's not. Okay, I thought it was, but maybe it's just the art style made me think that for some reason.
100%.
Well,
Definitely
doesn't it look
definitely
like
get that vibe.
right? Okay, I thought I was gonna sound like an idiot saying that, saying oh Netflix art style, but like no, it has that vibe that a show Netflix would usually pick up. Um, it looks cute. I'm just very curious to see how quickly they move through things and how they take the premise, which is that oh she just squints and gets really close to him, right? Like that's all that the initial premise is, and that makes him like nervous or whatever. How do they take that and then go another step further? I guess that you can do a lot of bits with her having bad vision and like being like Velma losing her glasses or whatever.
My glasses! I can't see without my glasses!
like how do you continue that beyond the first few episodes without it getting old? That'd be my main concern with it. It does look cool though, and the studio that it's in is very interesting. Studio Gohands has done like Setsukai Yaku and Domo, which is that little ecchi high school romance in the past. They've done a couple other shows too that seem to be romance focused. So
Handshakers.
Handshakers. Oh God, how could I miss Handshakers? Yes. So who knows what this show will be? It doesn't look as etchy as these other shows that it's done. So I'm very curious to see what happens here. Jay, what about you?
So I did a little bit of digging on the manga that this is based off of, just to, get like some character synopsis and stuff like that going as well. And so there are a few points for it and a few against it for me. Let's start with the ones for it. She loves visiting the aquarium and learning about sea creatures, so that's a huge plus for me. However, Kaide is described by Mai as kind and helpful like her father. I hope that it's just like he's has traits of her father and not he has a father like relationship with her. That will make or break this series for me, to
Yeah,
be
'cause
quite
the
honest.
second one's way hotter.
The- You almost
Yo.
got me, but no.
Okay.
So I'm definitely gonna give this a peep. Honestly, this isn't usually like my bag, but I've been trying to expand my horizons a bit. So I will definitely be watching like at least the first few episodes of this to see how I like it and to kind of suss out what they're doing here.
Little scared for me based off the PV that they did like a mixture of like traditional art and then
It
really
was so
odd
bad.
CG. Like really that because it's CG.
It
It's
was just bad.
it's how they CG'd it. The dude looked like he was walking on banana peels, kind of, while just gliding through the whatever. It was weird. Miles will get this, and Pat kind of brought up this point as well, where like I hope it's more than just them squinting at each other. Kind of like how Aharon is indecipherable was just like okay, she talks quiet, then what's next afterwards? And I thought they did a really good job in that story of like progressing past that point. Kind of hoping that this is the same, where okay, once you get past the squinting and getting close to each other, what's next with that relationship? And so I'm kind of hoping to get something along those vibes. I am seeing that the theme is romantic subtext and not
Yeah,
romance.
I was gonna comment on this.
So I don't know if this is going to be like a Comey thing where we get 400 chapters and then nothing happens. I hope it's funny at least, but right now to me I'm getting like worse Aharon vibes. And if that's the case, then it's going to be like a 6 or a 7 for me, but I'm hoping it's still like enjoyable throughout. So this is like a must. I should say must watch. This is a watch for me. This is definitely a Pete show, but I think for a lot of people, this is probably wait to see how the community reacts to it before getting into it, because I do have some concerns going into it. Mostly, yeah, the subtext and then studio go hands.
It's
Okay,
Gohan
yeah,
with a
yeah.
DS. Sorry.
Exactly.
So I guess here are my counterpoints to that really quickly. One, I think you're right. I have the same concerns. If like I thought that bad CG was them just being, I don't know, funny, but like if they did handshakers.
Yeah.
So some of the romantic subtext tagged shows are things that I would consider to just be like romances. Like Your Name is tagged as romantic subtext. I feel like that's just romancy in my mind. Love is War, like season 2 onward, is that. Like I could see it maybe for season 1, but like
Yeah.
no, like not subtexty. So I don't know, maybe I guess like I share the concerns that like maybe this will look like straight ass, and then also maybe it'll just be every chapter is like a skit of them being cute together, but then they never develop that
Mm-hmm.
relationship past the sort of "Ooh, does he like me? Do I like her?" sort of deal. So we'll have to see. I think we'll probably be able to tell pretty quickly, to be pretty honest. Like if we turn this on, that preview scene of the person walking up the stairs is like actually in the anime, and it looks like it does, I'm turning it off. So Uh, we'll have to see. I definitely think this is something to peep if you like romance. You know what I mean? Like it definitely seems like something to watch there, and so check it. But I'm raising a red flag. I have concerns.
So instead of watching that, what you should be watching, it seems like to me, is another romance show called, in this case, it's called, in English, it's My Happy Marriage is the synonym, at least for now, or the running title we're going with, or Watashi no Shiawase na Kekon. And to give the synopsis, Mio Saimori was the unfortunate child of a loveless arranged marriage. After her mother died, her father brought in his lover and her own daughter Kaya. From then on, Mio's life was reduced to that of a mere servant. Even worse, while Kaya inherited the family's psychic abilities, Mio had none. She was truly the daughter with no merit. After years of being treated like dirt, Mio had learned to keep her head down, hide her pain, and obey every order, so it comes as no surprise that she is arranged to be married to Kyoka Kudo, a military captain rumored to be so cruel that he has driven away every single one of his potential wives so far. From a painful upbringing to a painful marriage, that's the future that awaits Mio, or so she thinks. Contrary to her expectations, her new husband is actually kind-hearted. What really awaits Mio is a blissful, everlasting marriage full of happiness. So this show, and themes, by the way, are historical. It's fantasy romance is what the genres are as well. Sourced by a real novel, a regular novel, and done by Studio Kinema Citrus, who have done Rise of the Shield Hero, but
Made Abyss,
also
baby.
also Made in Abyss. So there's some good in there somewhere too, among other things. You know, they've been around for a while. It appears. Jay, what do you think about this show?
Honestly, not super interested in this if it's just gonna be like all like my marriage is look at my marriage is amazing. Like, I don't know, man. Like if there's no like drama or stakes or tension,
Yeah,
like that's pretty tough for me to get past. Like I'm sure for a certain type of person they'll really enjoy watching that because it does seem like it's kind of a breath of fresh air if it's not like a fully like dramatic type romance. But for me personally, I kind of like the messiness of that sort of thing. So like, I don't know. Like it's probably one of those where I don't think I'm gonna watch it, but if other people that I respect, like you three, watch it and say that there is like some good stakes and tension and such, despite the description, then I might give it a shot. But it's kind of lower on my list, if I'm being quite honest. Plus, it's like a Netflix anime, so I don't know. They don't have the best history for me
no,
personally.
I've read the first 2 volumes of My Happy Marriage, and if you liked, I think this was like 2 or 3 seasons ago, Raven of the Inner Palace. I think that you're going to enjoy this a lot. There's like a mix of this fantasy element because her family inherits powers of like seeing like spirits and demons, and the whole point of like her is she can't and her half sister can, and her half sister is like the super pretty popular girl, and she's sort of like Cinderella, I guess, like pre glow up. That's kind of like her vibe. Really well done because like it also reminds me of like the dynamic of like Fruits Basket with Toru and Kyo, where she's this like kind-hearted soul and she's been put through a lot, and then he is like this military general and kind of has like all these expectations, and he kind of like puts like his potential wives through like the ringer, and that's why so many of them like call off all these other arranged marriages for him. And yeah, it's actually pretty lighthearted and fun. The drama definitely comes from like the family with like the expectations of them having like this status of being able to see demons and spirits and stuff. Really enjoyable read so far. Through 2 volumes, I'd say it's like an 8. With this anime, I'm hoping that the studio behind it can elevate it a little bit because they are a very good, if not great, studio, and I think that they can do some stuff with some Sakura moments with them, like in like gardens and forests and stuff like that. That I think they can really add on to like the ambiance of the show. So I'm really looking forward to it just from the 2 volumes I've read, and yeah, just it's I don't know why drama is not included in the genre, but it's definitely a drama as well.
Okay.
I don't trust you.
Okay, that's fair.
Um,
I don't trust me either.
no, I mean, I think I'm with like Jay on this. I mean, again, you know, I actually do trust you. So like, if you say the adaptation's good and there's going to be like some drama and stuff, that's good. But like, just the name, like My Happy Marriage, boring, boring. I want my tumultuous marriage.
Ooh.
I
Wait, how would you describe your marriage?
pretty happy.
Don't do that. Come on.
Put you on the spot. Oh, let me text Kayla real quick.
Yeah, please. She did just text me and say that I woke our son up. So whoopsie
Ooh,
daisies.
ugh.
Send her the email. I think she'd understand.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like the historical aspect on it. It has psychic powers, which I'm always a big fan of. I think elevates pretty much every single thing they're in. um, but I mean, I don't know. This is definitely. I think I agree with Jay. This one's like a wait and see for me because my guess is that I'd be pretty bored, and I need other people to tell me that I want to be before I commit to it.
Yeah.
Pat, what about you?
Yeah, I know. I was gonna pose this question that like, what's the what's the show? What's the conflict here, right? Like, what is it? I'm guessing it's gonna be something to do with her not having her powers, or maybe her powers eventually do awaken, and then how she uses that with her husband. Maybe the husband also has some backstory that gets explored, or when he goes away for war, things happen. I don't know. I love this historical setting. It looks like it's set to be somewhere like in either the Meiji era or just beyond it. That would be my guess. So like like 1850s on too. So like something a little more
What was
modern.
Taisho Made in Fairy Tale? Is that like the same era?
Early 1900s.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's roughly what it is.
Okay. So yeah. So like like just as Japan is starting to
They have
globalize and
trains. Yeah.
right. Yeah. That's
So like
so that's
the
yeah.
Demon Slayer sort of, or
Yeah.
before
That
that.
same
Okay,
same
so
general time frame. Yeah.
Golden Kamui Demon Slayer type time frame.
I think Golden Kamuy is probably a little later. I think
Mhm.
just because they have like guns, like
Guns are old.
true, but like the guns they have are
Fair. That's fair.
repeating rifles, like
Yeah.
and bolt action stuff. Like that's a little different. But either way, like same idea. Like because like the Russo-Japanese War was what, like 1920. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like I might just be bullshitting there, but I think it's around then. Versus this would probably be like late 1800s, early 1900s. Either way.
1904.
Oh, really? Jesus, old. But yeah, this looks cool to me. I am definitely gonna give it at least one episode, maybe a couple. But like they said, if there's no conflict, then why is this a show? And because it's not like it's labeled slice of life either, or what's that?
Hayakishi. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whatever the laid back camp, like the
Yeah.
healing anime.
Healing.
Yeah, it's not called that, so or labeled that at least here. So I feel like Netflix usually doesn't just take bullshit though either. Like I feel like, and of course, whether it becomes bullshit is one thing, but most of the shows that they take on or try to license seem to be shows with premises that are or either good source material or premises that are interesting enough to get a non-anime watcher to watch an anime. Like that's usually what their intention is. So I'd just be curious to see how true that is of this show. But yeah, so I'm definitely gonna give it an episode or two. I'm not saying I would not say it's a must watch though, just based off of the synopsis alone.
魚
And with that, Jay, I think we've got this Vinland Saga looking dude over here.
So Helck is actually one where I kind of was whatever on it, and then I was reading up on it, and I'm very excited for this.
Me too.
Me
That
too.
actually exactly happened.
Do not read into it, is what I will say. It is something that it is best to go in kind of blind. I'm going to probably read the manga a little bit before it comes out. So sorry, I will go ahead and give this synopsis for us. While humanity celebrates the defeat of the Demon King by the hands of a lone hero, the denizens of the demon world prepare for the contest of a lifetime, a tournament to decide who will inherit the title of Demon King. Now, 3 months later, the tournament has been proceeding smoothly. Well, other than the fact that the favorite to come out on top is the human hero, Helck. With a smile and a wave, he easily bests his demonic competition, all while loudly proclaiming his hatred for humans. Though he calls for the destruction of humanity, the truth of what lies behind his cheery facade remains a mystery. Doubtful of Helck's intentions, Red Varmirio, one of the 4 heavenly kings who oversee the realm of demons together, seeks to uncover what the hero is truly after. With the title of Demon King at stake, the fate of the demon world rests on her shoulders. Apparently, we're getting episodes 1 and 2 previewed at Anime Expo, so we'll probably know something about it.
So when I watched the PV, it reminded me a lot of Cautious Hero. It seemed over the top with like this overpowered dude with like the comedic, like I guess the girl character kind of seemed like his manager of some sort. It looked really funny. Also, there is a very cute bird named Pee-wee. His nickname is the Green Bird of Happiness, Fluffy. So, I'm a big fan of all of those things. I like cute birds as like a
voiced
sidekick.
by the voice actor for Nanachi from Made in Abyss, by the way.
Oh.
So you know that shit's gonna be hidden.
Ooh, mwah, mwah. Oh.
Yeah, the voice acting cast is actually crazy for this. For Mirio is voiced by Mikaku Komatsu, who is Maki Zenin from JJK. Helck is voiced by Katsuyuki Konishi, who is Kamina's voice actor from Gurren Lagann. To give Pat something to look forward to there. So
sorry. I'm just looking at the studio though, and it's just making me laugh because they've done so many different things like Fairy Tail, Log Horizon, White Album 2, Nanbaka, like Hellsing Ultimate, like all these random ass shows. They even did that spin-off Nagato Yuki from Haruhi show. Like they've got so many different random things that they've done. I was expecting this studio to be the what was that show, the Cautious Hero? I definitely saw that too, but what about the hero, the one where the hero falls in love with the villain or villainess? What was that show called? It has
the Love After World Domination.
Yes, that to me looks to like the same art style, just off the PV. At least that's the way I see it.
Pitching it to me.
Yeah, this is Miles like, this is a tenant. It hasn't even came out yet.
Well, that's why I thought I didn't mean to jump in out of order, but I just
I'm all about that.
Yeah. So Pete, what are you thinking about this?
No, it looks. It reminds me also. Pat will get this, but Jay will too. Like Bastard, but like not terrible.
I get that. By the way, I understand.
Yeah,
or kind of like Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, but also not terrible.
So yeah, a bunch of these shows that sound good but are actually terrible. Hopefully this one's better. The manga has like an 8.2, so I'm hoping that the anime is going to be something similar. It looks really fun. I don't know if it's like, I guess I'll wait to see how the comedy looks, but like based off on like how overpowered he kind of seems like, gives me like Mashal vibes as well, or something along the lines of that, where like it's kind of like comedic fighting at points. Cautious Hero to me is like, it seems like the prime example where really overpowered human going to like lengths to be like somebody that's like so far away from being a human. And I guess this is mystery of why he also hates humans. Seems like a kind of like an interesting take. How about you, Miles?
Yeah, well, okay. So y'all just did a lot of thank you. It was like, oh, here's the show that like Miles likes and particularly more than other people, and it also reminds me of this other show that Miles likes more than other people and particularly. Yeah, so like you know how they say don't judge a book by its cover? I didn't even go that far. I just saw the name Helck and I was like, this shit's trash. But then I read the synopsis and I was like, this seems fun. I saw the art, it seems fun. So it seems good. So all of our listeners out there, do a little bit of research. Do your own research and form your own opinions. But I mean, I'm this is to me something that I'm 100% going to try out because I think it's just a really cool idea. I just think the setting sounds so fun and it looks good enough, and there's like enough interesting dynamics and stuff that could happen. And I kind of hope Helck and Vamirio bang, So I've already decided I'm shipping them. Do I not hope that, Jay? If you
No,
watch this,
fine.
okay,
I
cool.
or read it, but
okay, cool. Like... Yeah, I'm just hopping. Look, if you get on a ship early, you get good seating. You know what I mean? Like it's fair. Like I want the windows. So I'm already on it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about it. I think everyone has said the stuff that I would say. I don't know anything else about it. I do like these like heaven hell sort of. You know, it would be like it would have been really cool for Mao Sama to go into this instead of raising a child.
Yeah,
You
agree.
know, so so
Yeah.
so that's sort of what maybe it'll give me what the fast food show couldn't give me. Pat, what are your thoughts on this show?
I think the show initially didn't interest me at all, but now that we've talked about it, I'm at least somewhat intrigued. I don't know. I how many goddamn shows can have a demon king, man? Like seriously. It feels like all of these shows are starting with the same thing and then of course doing something different, right? Like
It's not an
they are.
isekai, at least.
It is not an isekai, you're right. It's just another show with my first impression at least is that he'd be an overpowered main character that seems to have an idea of what he's doing, you know. I think this is for me is going to be one where I wait to hear what people think. I'm going to wait to see, oh, do I have to watch this? I don't know. I mean, fantasy also isn't really my strongest category by any means, nor is action. I definitely prefer the more drama focused shows or the more historical whatever like set shows. So it's gonna be a tough one for me. But I it's not. I can see why people would like it for sure. Like I think it makes sense to watch this show. What about you, Jay? I guess you started, but what about you?
Yeah, sorry, I kind of messed up the ordering of how we were
We
supposed to
all
talk
did.
there.
Yeah,
But
we all fucked
we
up.
had a good time, and that's really what
Yeah,
matters, I
it's
think. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be sick. I'm very much going to be watching this. I hyped myself up by doing a little bit of research. I'm probably actually going to read the manga first, I think.
And a show that I'm hyping up, and it's probably going to be ass, but I'm kind of low-key looking forward to it. Reborn as a vending machine. Now I wandered the dungeon. A vending machine fanatic meets his demise. Quite ironically, crushed by a vending machine. To his dismay, he finds himself reincarnated as a vending machine in another world. Having reemerged within a forest inhabited by frogmen and other monsters, and supplied with only 2 products, Boxo, the vending machine, requires coins to keep itself stocked, powered, and upgraded with new skills. Luckily, the automat is rescued by a young woman who quickly realizes that this is the sentiment, and she carries it to a human settlement. Therefore, the strange piece of machinery gradually makes an impact in the world around it, gaining numerous allies along the way despite being utterly incapable of speech or movement and communicating only by paying out pre-recorded vending machine phrases. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the anime of the year, Reborn as a vending machine. Now I wander the dungeon.
so. Here's the thing, Pete. You're trash.
Agreed.
The show is trash.
Yep.
100% I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Yo,
Duh.
I mean, look, will this show be good? No. But what this show might be able to be is so bad that it's good. Right? And so will I be tuning in to see if it's that? Absolutely. The worst nightmare for this show is that it's just a normal isekai, but for some reason the guy's a vending machine, and then like once an episode they get like a health potion out of him or something, and then they like I don't know. It's just like boring as hell. The best case scenario is that it's insane in some way. Like I don't know exactly how this would translate, but if Birdie Wing was about vending machines and not golf, like you do that mental math, because I can't. But like I want this to be like really crazy. I don't want this to be down to earth. I don't want it to be a wholesome story about a vending machine that finds its purpose in another world. Fuck that. I want it to be crazy. Pat, what are you thinking about Reborn as a vending machine? Now I wander the dungeon.
You know, I was thinking that I would love to watch 1 or 2 episodes and then drop it because the bit will be done, right? Like the bit will be old or something will be done. Then I looked and it's a combo studio in this case with Studio Gokumi and Studio Axis, spelled in a like edgy way. These studios have done nothing
Oh, Yuki
but
Yuna.
Yeah, they've done the My Little Sisters Among Them, and every other piece of work that they've done just looks like lolly bait, disgusting crap. So I
You know,
have
so
no faith. Yeah, fine, fine. All right, cool. And they also and they did World's End Harem, by the way, as well, which was
Okay.
so positively
Banger.
received. Yeah, it was positively received by everybody. So I'm I have no faith in this being anything worth watching. I wish the studio wasn't this, so that there would be like some sort of upside in it, like beyond that those first few episodes, that shock factor, that oh haha he's a vending machine joke. Like I I don't know, this feels like something that I would want to watch like 10 minutes of the show cut down into a YouTube video where it's all the best jokes from the season turned into something, rather than something I'd want to watch full time just because it's I mean truly, like, how can this be good? How? Jay, tell me how this can be good.
Well, I'll tell you how. I watched Reincarnated as a Sword, and that was surprisingly good. And to me, this feels like a similar idea to Reincarnated as a Sword, where they're going to take the concept of it and stretch it as far as physically possible, which is very far because it's a fridge, and fridges are extremely wide. Um, I'm gonna watch this. I'm into it. I'm super into it actually. I think that the isekai genre only, in my opinion, works best whenever you're doing really weird stuff with it. And this is probably one of the staple weird ones that I hear brought up in the like light novel slash isekai community whenever I see them talking about weird reincarnation and such. So yeah, I think that this has a lot of potential. It's you know depends really on how good this studio is for it, in my opinion. What about you, Pete? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in the camp that I kind of want this to be wild and crazy. I kind of want this to be a harem, and I know you're saying, but wait, he's a vending machine. And to that
A
I
long
say, and today I say, figure it out, because I think that would be awesome. But couple like cool things I would say. Like I know I'm trying to find like a diamond in the rough with this. He Boxo, the main character voiced by Lelouch's voice actor, which is kind of, you go from the greatest character.
Boxo v Britannia
Yeah,
commands
Boxo
you.
v Britannia commands you to order this Pocari sweat from my vending machine. Um, he can sell any product that he brought with him from his past life, so we'll get like the dynamic of probably like items not in this world but from our world that will interact, and maybe that's fun. I am jokingly thinking that this show will be good, but I do think that the concept is fun. And if they can do fun right, I'm all aboard it. I'm kind of with J2. Reincarnated as a Sword to me seemed like such a insert random isekai light novel, whatever, and it ended up being like a pretty solid show with like really nice characters and animation and music and stuff like that. I don't think that this is going to be the same level, but if I can get a couple laughs out of this, if this is a 6 out of 10 and it makes me laugh, I'm all for it.
So why can't you do that by watching the 10-minute clip of it like 3 months from now?
Because I'm addicted to watching anime. I have a
Oh,
problem.
fair enough. You have to admit it. That's the first step towards recovery, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We're here for you, Pete.
Got a long way to go.
We're here to
Yes.
enable you mostly, but we're here for you.
Yeah, I'm here
Yeah.
for the weekly discourse of Reborn as a vending machine. I want this to come out as the same time as JJK, and in our Discord, I want this to be the main conversation, and JJK can be secondary.
They're just
Maybe
gonna be
this.
like neck and neck on the anime.
Yeah, the anime trending
Yeah,
chart.
yeah, that's maybe this will replace G Witch with like the show that I write up stuff for, so that Rifle can ignore me. Um, um, so yeah, I next I believe we are talking about Dark Gathering. Okay, so here's the quick synopsis for that. Kitaru Gintoga is a college freshman who hates ghosts. Unluckily for him, he has a knack for attracting spirits. So I'm getting Mirko-chan vibes. 2 years ago, this connection led him to receiving a spiritual injury on his right hand, with his friend getting caught in the crossfire. The event caused him to become a shut-in, leaving him with very poor social skills. Fortunately, Kitaro is slowly starting to mingle with society thanks to the help of his childhood friend, Echo Hozuki. As part of his rehabilitation, Kitaro takes on a part-time job of a private tutor, and one of his first pupils, none other than Echo's cousin, Echo's cousin. Besides, besides being a child prodigy, there is another peculiarity regarding Echo's cousin. She has a spiritual constitution, just like Kitaro. However, in contrast to him, she yearns to encounter spirits, hoping to find the ghost that took her mother away. As Kitaro is dragged along by Yayoi and Aiko to haunt spots, his part-time job seems to be straying further and further from its original purpose. Um, Pat, this doesn't seem like a you kind of show, so tell us why.
Well, I do. Those are called Shinto shrines, right? Or the gates? Shinto, Shiro. I can't remember. Either way, that's cool. The PV art is beautiful. Like
Really?
it's got a nice, especially with the poppy flower. I believe those are poppy flowers in the background as well. You know, the sign of death in a lot of Japanese media. So I don't know. This is definitely more your kind of a show for sure. Like horror, supernatural things like that. Not exactly my cup of tea, but I do like the character designs a lot. I think the main girl, Hozuki Yayoi, whatever, not your typical horror protagonist, I guess, or like main character. And I think that the one thing helping this out too is that's being done by OLM, who've done Komi-san, every Pokemon ever, and Good Berserk.
Odd
Um,
Taxi, Summertime
Odd
Render.
Taxi, yes, Odd Taxi and Summertime Render. Oh, so no wonder you want to watch this. Yeah, no, this is your favorite studio practically at this point.
Yeah, they're up there.
I'd be curious to see what you guys have to say about watching it. I don't think it's a show that I would watch though without being again like being told, oh, this is really good, you should try it, or watching it through Watch Club, something along those lines. But again, that's mainly because it's not my demographic. What about you, Jay?
This seems fine to me. Like some of the designs are pretty solid. Like the main girl, it seems like her thing is that she has two pupils in both of her eyes that make her eyes form skulls as
Mhm.
their design, which is kind of cool. I don't know. It seems interesting enough, I guess. Like it feels like typical Exorcist show fare, kind of. Like I don't know. I'm gonna give it a couple episodes and see if it could kind of like differentiate itself from something like I don't know, like Soul Eater or whatever. Like it has to really kind of pop out at me, like how Soul Eater had the interesting world building and like magic system and such. Like if this is just like urban fantasy, like Exorcist manga or anime, then I don't really know if it'll make it the full time for me unless it's like really well animated or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of on the lower mid half of my list, I would say. I
Yeah.
did see someone describe it as sorry, I did see someone describe an event as the Kyoto Kucksaw Massacre in
Ooh,
the manga. So I'm kind of interested to see what that
that
entails.
sounds
Wait, what was
awesome.
the middle word? Which one?
Kyoto Kucksaw
I,
instead of chainsaw, Kucksaw.
we're
Stonks.
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 Yeah. Pete, what do you think, man?
Yeah, with OLM at the helm, it definitely puts it higher. It's just, are we going to get summertime rendering OLM, or are we going to get love all play OLM? Because those are two very different sides of OLM. With the horror tag, and from what I saw, I'm kind of getting like Exorcist Parasite vibes, which would be kind of dope. I would like to see how much they like how horror it is because it is a shonen. So like I don't know if this is going to be. I feel like it's maybe like Promised Neverland horror, which is good and all, but maybe not what I'm looking for in this style of show. But based off what you just said, the Kyoto Kucksaw Massacre, how could I not be in? Like this sounds that sounds great. Yeah, I'll check it out. It's for sure going to get 3 episodes from me. I think yeah, like the character design looks kind of cool. They have Kana Hanazawa as a voice actress, so that's like an instant thumbs up for me as well. And one of the other main girl is the voice actress from Amelia Ko from Shadow's House, who I'm a huge fan of. So, yeah, probably like if I had like a tier list or something like that, this is probably gonna be like my number like 9 show that I'm looking forward to. Miles.
If I had a tier list, this would be number 1.
Yeah.
I actually probably JJK season 2, but this would be number 2, unless I'm forgetting something else.
Reborn as a vending machine.
This would be number 3.
Link click season 2.
This would be number 3.
Ooh.
Um, so I don't know. I mean, I really fuck with horror stuff. I also really fuck with supernatural stuff, and I really fuck with OLM. So I'm pretty excited about it. Like, I think it looks good. I think there's like maybe a chance that it's not even like bad. Like, I think the floor for this is like kind of mid, which is almost worse than being bad, right?
True.
Like mid is worse than bad. We all know it. And so, you know, that is, I guess, in the back of my mind, just because I don't know anything about the manga, and like the character design's like a little weird. Like, it's sort of, I don't know how well it'll work with like a horror setting, or how much the horror will lead into. I say that is like one of my favorite series ever is Higurashi, where you have all the little moe characters that murder each other. But you know, I'll just be interested to see out how it plays. Like, horror is hard to do with anime. I've found through desperately trying to find good horror anime series and finding like 2. So you know, I hope horror is sort of like, I hope this is more supernatural horror than horror supernatural. Sort of like a Mirko-chan sort of vibe is what I would hope with this. So we'll have to see, you know, what it is. Pat, please tell us about the Masterful cat is depressed again today.
Yes, or Dekiru Neko Wakyo Mo Yutsu, I believe is how they said. And this is done by, once again, Studio Gohan DS, or Gohans, I assume is probably what it means. But yeah, so this is synopsis right here. When Saku took in a stray black cat, she never expected that he would become the equivalent of a housekeeping life partner. But Yukichi, a giant cat who towers over Saku, is not your ordinary feline. He takes great pride in his culinary skills, and a good sale at the supermarket always gets his whiskers twitching. Saku may not have her act together yet, but she at least has Yukichi. So, like I said, done by Studio Gohans, who's doing the show, the Glasses show from earlier. Not a lot going on there. What do you think, Jay?
I've said that for like the past 3, I feel like, but this, I don't know. It seems interesting enough. Like, the concept is, yeah. I know Pete's high on this, so maybe like he can sell me on it after this. But the synopsis doesn't give me a ton of hope, if I'm being real. Pete, why don't you sell this to me?
Well,
real
I'll do
quick?
my best, and I can just compare it to like what I see. If you've seen Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, it kind of gives me like the Kobayashi and Toru vibe when they're like in the apartment together. That they have like this like relationship, and they're just like cooking and cleaning and being like a family together. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. It is listed as a comedy. I think a giant cat going to a supermarket and buying stuff and everyone's just like cool with it, to me sounds funny. But I have a very strong suspicion that I'll probably be like one of 3 people to watch this show in our Discord. So I'm not super high on it. Once again, Gohan DS as the studio isn't a selling point for anybody. If anything, it is a strong deterrent. And I don't know. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be silly. This seems like a show. If like Vinland Saga was airing next season again, I would watch Vinland Saga and then I would watch this show to like cleanse my palate. And that's kind of the vibes that I'm getting. Miles, I know that you have this as tattooed on your butt. Tell me more about the show that you want to talk about.
Yeah, so I hope that Yukichi and Saku fuck.
She made may not have her act together yet,
gotta
but
get
at
outta
least she
here.
has
Yeah,
Yukichi.
Jay's like,
I
oh
gotta
man,
get
these last four
I
shows
gotta
have
get
been
outta
mid.
here.
Miles, these last four shows, I hope they all fuck each other.
I, um, I little inside baseball. I thought about making that joke with the cousins from the last show, but saw that we had the cat show coming up next and decided to hold the joke. So we all know that cat penises are barbed. So no, as far as this show goes, I mean, this is I don't know why. Pete, I have some faith in this show. I don't know why. I just it it's gonna be good. I know it in my bones. Um I don't know, maybe it'll suck. I don't fucking know. It just looks fun. It looks like it'll be fun and funny and lighthearted, and it's not something that I need. Like this seems like something where even if it has one bit, which is that there's a giant depressed talking cat, there's enough things to do with that bit that it can carry me through like 12 episodes. It's like how Mashal has one joke, but it's been funny every time. This is similar, I would say. Like to me it seems like even if this has one joke, it's a joke that I will find funny throughout the entire series. I don't know anything about the manga. Jay, have you heard anything about it?
Nope. Nothing at
Cool.
all, which is very, not a good sign, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, oh my god, it is the 11,000th most popular manga on my anime list. How the hell did this even get uh adaptation?
Maybe it's big in
Uh,
Japan.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways, I'm gonna be giving this a go. For sure. And I don't know why, but I have some high hopes for it.
Let me dash them for you.
Okay.
Watch the PV a bit.
Okay.
Looks like it's like 70% CG. It's
Oh
got
my
that
god, it
weird
looks
shiny look.
terrible.
Yeah, like it though. There's just like this walking scene that they seem to like think looks good, but I don't know. Like to me, it
Oh,
looks
okay.
awful.
Guys, the glasses show is gonna be bad. This has sealed it for me. Like
Yeah,
looking at this, it's actually just how the studio has decided to do stuff. We're fucked.
I know. So that's how it appears. Maybe it's their artsy fartsy way to do it. Who knows? I
Ooh,
think
the
this.
end of the PV looks good. Sorry, I
Okay,
just watched the PV.
no, you're good.
It
Yeah,
looks.
you're good.
I have faith again.
You have faith again. Good. All right.
Okay.
Well, I think this would be funny if it was like a short form or like a 3 to 15 minute show. I don't know, to be fair, either if this will be or not, but like how do you make this 30 minutes? Like I don't know,
It seems
man.
like Way of the House Husband, because that was like 12 minutes, but with a giant
Right.
cat.
And that was fun. I don't know. This is gonna be it's gonna be something to see at least. Again, I definitely want to see it though. I bet the clips from it are gonna be hilarious. Like the good parts are gonna be good. It's gonna be a matter of whether it can tie it all together and make it worth watching. Is my question. Again, I really do hope it is a short form. I don't think it is because normally they indicate that. I think, but guess we'll have to find out on July 8th when it finally airs. Assuming it gets picked up by somebody to
This seems like a high
stream.
dive show.
I
Yeah.
would, yeah. Is it getting picked up on High Dive? This I will say this airs at 2:23, which is a super random time to air anything that isn't a short form.
That's a very good call out.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. So hopefully it is, and then it'll make a lot more sense as a possibly funny show because, like, I guess the bit could just be, oh, haha, the cat is depressed and sad and gloomy, and she's all busy at work and comes home and yada yadas, and then in Miles's head they fuck. But I don't know. Looks like good voice actors though, or say you link to this. A lot of characters that you don't see in the PV. So I'm very curious how they filled out more characters in this list than in like a couple of the previous shows we've had looked at. I'm curious now. I'm talking myself into this more and more.
That's by the way, guys. This is how light we personally think this season is for like non-sequels and stuff. That we're talking ourselves into.
Oh yeah.
The Masterful Cat is
We're
depressed against it.
copium for sure.
Yeah,
It's a little bit of copium. Yeah. And you know what? This feels like a normal season though, for me in terms of excitement outside of sequels. I think just compared to last season, especially, and to be fair, we've had a couple good seasons in a row. I think that we've started to set our expectations almost too high. It's like no, we need to dial ourselves back in again. Like
We gotta check
to
ourselves.
check ourselves to expect 4 or 5 really good shows a season rather than like the 10 that we've been getting for the last like four seasons. But yeah, uh,
魚
next up is a show that still can't find the mal for. I don't know if there is one.
There
There
is. 3 O's.
3 O's. Ah, that explains it. There you go. Thank you. But Jay, what show is that?
This is Ooku, the Inner Chambers. In Edo period Japan, 1603 to 1868, a strange disease called the red-faced pox has begun to prey on the country's men. Within 80 years of the first outbreak, the male population has fallen to a quarter of the total female population. Women have taken on all the roles traditionally granted to men, even that of the shogun. The men, precious providers of life, are currently protected, and the most beautiful of the men are sent to serve in the shogun's inner chambers and the bad boys club. Pete, what do you think about this?
Yeah, this is a pretty popular shoujo that I know a lot of my shoujo friends have read. They really enjoy it. I like the idea of like this gender role reverse style show in like this era is fun. Like I can't really think of anything really off the top of my head that kind of has this type of setting really. Yeah, slut out the dudes. This sounds really fun. I hope we see some hot dudes and some saucy scenes. But yeah, from what I saw, it is on Netflix. It does the animation's kind of whatever, but Studio Dean is doing this, and the other historical like drama that they did that's like insanely popular with Rakugo Shinju is like widely like received. So I'm hoping that they can bring some of that vibe and energy to uh Ooku, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It seems kind of fun. Miles.
So this is just World's End Harem, right?
Yeah, but instead of there being 5 dudes, there's like maybe like 50,000 or something, or whatever.
Okay.
How many?
Okay.
What's the population of Japan in 1863?
I don't know. I was just making a joke. And though it is interesting that two things that have such similar premises have such insanely different.
Vibes.
Yeah,
I wonder
exactly.
why.
Um. Anyways, this translates to big wife, in case anyone cared. Um, which is kind of fun. I think this looks good. I think it's pretty. You said the animation isn't anything, but like I think like the art is like I don't always like this like overly polished sort of thing that they're doing, but I think it vibes like pretty hard with this sort of like historical drama that we're seeing there. I like it in that setting. Um, this is on Netflix, so when we get it 3 weeks after it airs, maybe I'll forget about it. But if I don't, I'll certainly be watching it. I generally like how Netflix like does subs and all of that stuff, and I like think that's good. But I kind of wish they could get it done a little quicker, like
They
everyone
have been
else.
recently.
Have they? Okay,
Yeah, they do it with Vinland. Vinland same day.
same day. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and there's another one. I forgot the other one. But yeah, they've done it twice so far, and it's very
Oh,
recent. So
okay.
maybe
Holding my judgment to Netflix then. Netflix, maybe I'll watch your shows now. Um, but yeah, I'm interested to see how it is. I kind of want to see some sort of like inner palace drama between the different male characters and like who they're paired with and all that stuff. Just sort of like what I think we're going to get. I don't know. I think it's adapted from like a book
I only know
or
it's
no,
based off the manga.
it's a manga. Okay.
Yeah, I know there's for
Um,
sure a manga, but I don't know if the manga is based off of a novel or something.
I'm unsure. I might have been thinking of one of the other. Oh nope, it is. Oh nope.
The Raven
Yeah,
of
it
the
might
Inner
just be.
Palace was a novel, and that's the
Yeah,
only thing I can
I
think
might have
of.
been mixing it up with something. This might just be a book. Have you read the manga, Jay or Pete?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I'll kick it to Jay anyway. Jay, what are your thoughts?
What
Pretty
about
excited
Pat?
for.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck Pat, I
Oh,
guess.
it's
God.
okay.
Rough
You
day
can
for
go ahead,
me.
Pat.
Okay, Pat, go ahead.
Okay. We went through a little episode earlier today when we were planning for this. Someone brought this show up, and I was like, "Isn't that a plot for a show or a movie I've seen?" And I had to do some digging, but I found one that is literally the exact same premise as this. I believe it was done in 2010. Same title as well. Just I think it's just in English, it's an alternate name than Oku the Inner Chambers. It's called something else. The movie was pretty good, I remember, and I assume that this will adapt the full plot of the manga, which the movie most likely did as well too, based on the way the movie ended. I'm really excited for it actually. Like this should be a good show. I don't want to spoil too much, but it'll be cool to see how like there's like a male protagonist that the show followed or the movie followed, and explored how his relationship, his true feelings for a woman in his life doesn't matter because he's now stuck trying to court the shogun or court the head haunch, the head lady, you know? So it's kind of I thought that the movie was really good. I can't believe I sat through and watched it all. It was such a random like YouTube binge late night thing, uh but yeah, it was a fun rabbit hole to go down. Jay, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this overall. I like the description of it quite a bit. I've heard a lot of good things about it from people who have, I would say, better taste than me in most things. And yeah, the Studio Dean, like they're hit or miss, but whenever they want to hit, they can definitely produce a really good anime. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, like I said, the concept of this is just really good in my opinion. Like I think that if this is executed well, I think that if executed well, this has potential to be like the best new thing of the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I agree too. Just based off all the reception that I've heard from this, it's I think it can definitely be up there.
魚
All right, so that is our newer properties. We're gonna dive into some of the sequels that we'll be watching. So, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen these, we will be talking spoilers more than likely. So, there's your warning. We're gonna jump into the first one. Link Click Season 2. Very good timing for us since we just finished watching it. We got the PV of Season 2 a few months ago. It was announced that AX is getting episode 1, lucky, and we will be getting it somewhere in like the second week of July. So a little later start, probably the latest start of a seasonal. There's a good chance that this is probably also going to be 10 or 11 episodes like season 1 was. So gentlemen, let's get into your thoughts of season 2 of Link Click.
Yeah, I think this was actually the cast for that episode, I believe, and
Yeah.
all of us really liked Link Click. I hope the season 2 is just them playing basketball the entire time. But no, I mean, I'm excited. I think all of us were like, we have high hopes for this season. Hopefully, it answers like these differing amount of questions we all had. But if you haven't watched Link Click and you're at all into like sort of mystery, supernatural combination stuffs, like you should be, then I would suggest watching it. It's a really quick, easily binged show, in my opinion. So definitely check that out. And I'm really excited to see how they tie this up. Does anyone know if we expect this to end it? Is this it?
I
Is
think
that all?
so. I think
You think
so.
so? Okay. Or do we get more or whatever? Yeah, I don't know. That's my general thoughts. I'm excited to see what we're going because we leave with a pretty big cliffhanger. Um, Pat, your
Yeah,
thoughts?
that's what I was about to say. Is that with the cliffhanger that we were left with? I'm kind of glad I didn't watch it until like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Very very curious to see where we go from here. I imagine this villain, this actual true villain that we're finally going to get to see, like what is their power, or how is their power similar to the power of our main two characters. I don't know. I can't wait. I might actually watch something week to week because this is going to be something that needs to be watched week to week too because of all the discussion that'll be around it. I think, especially in the server. So I'm really excited. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I'm super hyped for this as well. I was on the Click train pretty early on. I think I was actually one of the if not the first person to recommend it. Maybe it was recommended before I was here, but I was on the train truly before Pete, and that's really what matters.
Shake my
no
damn
matter
head.
what the tape says, Jay was the first one on the train.
Exactly. This is something I'm definitely going to be watching week to week. I'll be watching it the day it releases so I can discuss it with everybody. It ended on a crazy cliffhanger, so I need to know like where that goes. Like, I don't know. I just needed to answer a lot of questions that were presented in the first season, and that'll do it for me. So as long as it kind of completes at least the arc that we're on, I think I'll be satisfied with where we're at. Um, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get more out of it after this though. I think it's pretty popular in like China as well as Japan,
Yeah,
so I
it's
could see
huge.
it getting like more stuff after this. Honestly, yeah, Pete.
Yeah. So just based off what we saw on the PV, and we know that Guang kind of got smoked a little bit. It seems like Ling is going to be a much more prominent role in this season. It's like her and Zhaoxi. So I'm looking forward to like that team dynamic instead of Zhaoxi and Guang. That'll be really fun to see how they interweave those two together. Yeah, kind of like what Jay said, just mimicking. I will be watching it as soon as it drops on 9 Anime because I don't even know if we can watch Billy anywhere in the United States like legally. So be patiently refreshing 9 Anime to watch the newest episode of Link Click when it drops. Next up, our next sequel slash fill-in show that we're doing is Horimiya: The Missing Pieces. This will be featuring stories from the manga that were not adapted in the main anime. Miles, you're currently watching it, so I guess I'll take your thoughts first on this upcoming Horimiya project.
Yeah, so I'll definitely finish Horimiya by the time this ends. It's been a lot of fun, and I'll probably watch this at some point. But it's weird because this is going to be like things we missed. I don't know how much I feel like compelled to watch it. You know what I mean?
Can I
Like,
ask you a question?
yeah.
Who is your favorite character so far through the episode?
Uh, interesting question, actually.
Because the kind of jump off that, the big thing with a lot of people is they like the side characters more than the main couple.
No, I don't
And this gives a
necessarily
lot
feel
more
that.
shine on those people. So that's why a lot of people didn't like the main adaptation as much as like the manga. So I feel like if you're like a Hori fan, you probably really like the anime. And if you're like a Yuki fan, gang, you probably will like the additions that we're getting.
Okay. Like, I don't necessarily think the side characters are anything special or anything. And maybe that's because of what they chose to cut for the thing.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, I like them. If I had to pick a favorite side character, it would probably be like Remy because I think she's funny.
Yeah, she's great.
But I like the dynamic for the main couple, which is rare for me in romances. I'm often like the side couple romance or whatever. His friend, whose name I'm forgetting, Toru, I
Mhm.
think maybe, is also cool. I like him, but I don't know. Part of me feels like maybe I just read the manga instead of like watch these episodes. I don't know. Like, if I decide not to do that, I'll probably watch them at some point. But I think Horimi is just like really well done generally. So I don't know how much side characters I need. Someone who knows more than me can go. Specifically, Pat. Pat, what are you doing?
I not watching this
Oh,
personally. I
yeah.
don't know. I'm indifferent about Horimiya. I thought it was good, like really good, really solid. I didn't like think it was the best thing since sliced bread. Like a lot of people who enjoy romance anime or manga did when this was airing. So I also like you though, Miles, prefer the main couple over the side characters. I really like Hori. I think she's a really fun character. So now that Pete has said it sounds like it's focusing on the side characters more, I want to watch this even less. So like again, it's not like the side characters are bad; they're good, but I just don't care about them. So I think I'm gonna pass on this one myself. Jay, what about you?
I haven't watched Horimiya to begin with, so
Mhm.
for me personally right now it's a no, but I might watch it and see what's up because I have heard pretty decent things about it from people. So, yeah.
Yeah. I've watched and read Horimiya. I thought the anime did a pretty solid job at doing like a full story, so I'm kind of surprised that we even got this. It reminds me of like what the ranking of kings thing that's going on right now, where it's kind of the stuff that got cut and the timeline maybe doesn't match. I think some people might not like it because some people are not happy with the ranking of kings side story going on right now, which is silly because it's literally just ranking of kings and it's just filling in some gaps that they missed in the story. There's one really good arc, the school festival like track day thing that they have that was cut. That's super fun. I think a lot of people are gonna like that arc, but yeah, to me, Yuki's my favorite character, so I'm looking forward to like more of that. And I just like the cast in general is like super fun. So I don't think this is gonna be as good as. Well, I know it's not gonna be as good as the main story, but I think this will be like a fun, like 7 or 8 out of 10 to watch and fill in some Horimiya gaps that we missed out. Especially if you are a huge fan of the manga, we can kind of just get the rest of the story, I guess, filled in with those gaps. So, oh yeah, kind of looking forward to it. And last but not least, we have probably the absolute juggernaut of the season. That is that time I got reincarnated as a vending machine again. No, I'm just kidding. Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. Many people believe that this is going to be anime of the year level, just based off the manga content that's probably going to be adapted in this season. I believe it is confirmed that we're getting 2 cores. Maybe not, but I assume knowing Mappa and what they do, this is will be another 2 core thing. Gentlemen, your thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen season 2?
I have a question for Jay. Do I have to watch the movie before season 2?
No, you don't have to really. But
Okay.
before if it's two core, you have to watch the movie before the ending of the second core is what I would say.
Okay, because I have a plan. Like my friend's coming over, we're gonna watch the movie, and I just don't know if that's gonna be like before or after this
No, you don't
premieres.
need it for the first one.
Okay.
First
Miles,
season.
when you're done watching that movie, though, you should watch the review that me and Jay did. Sick plug, Pete.
Good job, Pete. Um, yeah. So I mean, I watched JJK a couple of weeks ago, and like I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's got a really cool dynamic cast. I really like the power system in it. I like the art style is pretty neat. The characters look. I feel like it's like a pretty unique look to it, especially for like the type of show it is. It's a lot more, I don't know, grounded than I see a lot of shows be in that sort of like shonen-y battle genre. But I don't have a lot to say because I think Jay will probably be able to fill some time. Other than I'll be watching this week to week. I'm excited to continue, and also Mai is better than Maki. Fight me, everyone.
Ooh.
Pat, what are your thoughts?
My friends really like JJK season 1. I'm excited to hear them talk about JJK season 2. I say my friends as if these guys aren't my friends too. I then my IRL friends who don't
Yeah,
watch a lot of anime
your actual
love
friends, huh?
my actual friends, yes. The ones whose weddings I go to,
Yes.
like those
Okay.
guys um love JJK and they're not big anime guys. So I'm sure that they probably don't even know if season 2's coming yet, but they're going to be excited once I tell them and I'm sure they'll like it. So, yeah, Jay, you talk. I don't know JJK. I have no interest in it personally.
Yeah, I'm super hyped for this. To give some, not really spoilers because it was shown in the PV and such. This is our Gojo backstory of him whenever he was a teenager, getting to learn his powers and such, as well as like the mission that kind of like somewhat fractured his friend group in a lot of ways. That is actually something that honestly, Miles, you'll kind of get spoiled on it if you watch the movie is
Oh,
what I'll
okay.
say. Like what
Okay.
happens with his friends and stuff. Yeah, this is something where the first core of this is going to be like pretty fun, I think, for the most part. Like there's going to be drama and stuff, but I think it'll be like overall a pretty light vibe compared to the next core because this is definitely something that is going to be two cores in my opinion just based off of the first season. And the next core is just going to be crazy. But speaking of like what's actually going to be playing this summer, like I think it's going to be really fun. Um, the PV that they showed off had some really interesting like improv jazz kind of music going on. So like if they keep to that, I think that'll be really fun with Gojo being the main character since his thing is like space manipulation. Like it kind of represents that sort of like fractured chaotic vibe. And like I don't know. I think it'll just be like it'll give a lot of people more insight into a few characters that they may find somewhat shallow based on the first season of JJK, and that's like big in my opinion. What about you, Pete?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I watched JJK season 1 while it was airing, so I'm trying to like refresh my mind of exactly what happened at the end of season 1, but I'm sure once I start watching season 2, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember when that happened." Yeah, I in terms of like new gen shonen, like JJK to me is like the top. Like I think it's fantastic. Like this and Hell's Paradise are like the two shonen to me that I just like really gravitate towards with like really good writing and cast and the dynamics that they use with like their magic system, and that's like what stands out to me. And I'm just looking forward to more. I'm kind of I know it's like hype and people love it. I have a really hard time thinking that this is going to beat Vinland Saga for anime of the year, but a lot of people think that this is going to be anime of the year quality. We will wait and see. More than likely going to be in like my top 10 of the year, but Jujutsu Kaisen, I love it. It's super fun. I can't wait for more. All right, the last remaining bit of time, we're just gonna go over everything else that we are watching, and I guess I'll just go ahead and start watching Jobless Reincarnation season 2. It's still fuck Rudy season, but goddamn, this show looks so good. I like every character except for Rudy, so can't wait to give this an 8 at the end of it. Masamune-kun No Revenge. After 9 long years, we get a sequel. I think that this show sucks, like really bad, but it's absolute trash, and I will be watching it. Yeah, the peak of the mountain in that mountain is 2 feet tall. What else am I watching? The second season, or I guess the second part of season 2 of Mao-sama. I thought the second season was really bad until like the last 2 episodes. Kind of got me a little interested in watching the next part of Devil's a Part-Timer. The Duke of Death and His Maid, a fantastic romance. I cannot wait for the second part. Kind of shocked that I got a sequel. This show is fantastic. Really looking forward to that. Tiny Senpai, a show that reminds me of My Senpai is Annoying but Bad. Yeah, it's Uzaki-chan, but she's an office manager now. It looks pretty bad. I'm gonna give it 3 episodes. I have very low expectations. A sequel that I'm really looking forward to, Sugar Apple Fairy Tale. I loved how season 1 ended. It was, yeah, it's a really good show. I thought it started slow, but the last like 6 episodes I thought of Sugar Apple Fairy Tale were wonderful. Um, and then everything else is some like just like random trash that I'll probably be watching by myself and dropping after a few episodes. In terms of like movies, the new Ghibli movie is coming out. I doubt we won't get it until like 6 months later, but looking forward to probably Miyazaki, or what's his name? Yeah, Miyazaki, probably his last film. So looking forward to seeing that as well. And then we're getting the Sound Euphonium next part. I think that concludes the series as well. So I love Sound Euphonium and looking forward to probably getting that on High Dive in like a year and a half. So Miles, else are you watching?
Yeah, so you know, Liar Liar, top of my list. Might be the only anime I watched this season. But I might try to see if I can bully Haz into watching it and watch with him because I think that would be a lot of fun. It's basically No Game No Life. It's like it's actually just
It's
100%
the entire show
No Game
is
No
just
Life.
no game, no life. Even
Um,
etchy. It's even
yes.
etchy too. Yeah, it's crazy.
And what do we know about I Know Idenshi? It's a Madhouse show that's coming out. It's like a
Nothing.
psychological thing. Okay. Well, just looking at it, it seems pretty interesting just from like some like cover art, and Madhouse makes good shows generally. So I think I'm gonna give that a go. Um, and I think that's probably it for me. Again, I said it was gonna be a little bit of a lighter season, but that's okay. Pat, anything else for you?
Well, what about for you with Bang Dream? It's my go.
Well,
I
I'm still pretty far behind in the Bang Dream cinematic universe, so I need to like I'm watching it all in like release order, you know. So we'll we'll get there.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So for me, I was gonna flag Liar Liar as well. Like, I don't think it's gonna be a show I'm gonna love, but I think just the fact that it's something like No Game No Life will make me want to watch it at least a little bit. Um, but yeah, so the big one for me is the Rurouni Kenshin requel is coming out. The original Rurouni Kenshin was published in 1994, 1999. It's a remake of the anime that was published a couple years later. It's kind of getting like the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood treatment. Um, but yeah, let's kind of want to address the elephant in the room. Make it clear for the people who don't know as well, who are coming into this blind, have maybe heard of this series and wondered what was going on around it. In November 2017, police found DVDs with footage of naked girls in their early teens in Watsuki's Tokyo office. The police raided it and his home as well as part of an investigation into child pornography. The search uncovered about 100 child pornography DVDs, and it took several. This is a quote. It took several trips from several officers to empty his house of all the evidence. In February 2018, Watsuki was fined 200,000 yen, or about 1,500 US dollars, and that was his punishment for the thing. The Hokkaido arc, which was his sequel manga, then resumed serialization about 6 months later, or 4 months later, not even. Uh, so yeah, these fines don't fit the crime. It's gross. Watsuki deserves to like rot in prison, in my opinion. The original writer for Kenshin, uh, but instead now he gets to write a sequel to this original story. Nothing he ever publishes again will ever interest me either. Him himself. However, the original Kenshin story was so important to me, and not only as a growing up, it was one of the first manga that I ever read. They're all sitting back here. But the anime as well was important to me when I started to reach adulthood as well. And nothing from the original Kenshin series is reflective of the crimes that Watsuki has committed. There is no hint of it. There is no. It is a completely. It completely baffled me when the news came out, honestly, because it's not like it's shown in his work or in a way where, like with Attack on Titan, the author being a bit of a piece of shit is kind of seen in the work that he does. Um, so that's why I personally still feel comfortable consuming Kenshin, because it was written before at least we knew about these crimes. And I think it's a beautiful story, the samurai's quest for redemption. However, if you don't want to watch the new Kenshin, then don't. I don't blame you. I think anyone who's uncomfortable watching it should. I plan on pirating it as well because I don't want to support the show for being made. However, I am going to enjoy consuming it because Kenshin is one of my favorite medias. I mean, I've got the freaking his scar tattooed on me. I think it's one of the best stories, samurai stories ever told. But I also just want to throw it out there too. Don't I don't think people who should watch the show should be shamed or for doing so. Because if you plan on shaming people for doing so or bad mouthing people who do, you should also shame people who consume Doctor Stone, One Piece, Death Note, Naruto, Gintama, Assassination Classroom, Shaman King, Trigun, and many other shows, because all of their mangaka have since publicly come out to support the writer Watsuki in his following his conviction and following his fine. They have come out to written support of this horrible human being. So I think it's more of a reflection on the industry than it is on specific people, but I think it is worth noting. But yeah, with that being said, Kenshin, it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. I can't wait to see how beautiful the new art style is for one of my favorite shows and one of my favorite stories ever in anime. I think the setting is really cool. One of Japan's most tumultuous times. I cannot wait for this show. It's a samurai show. It's a story about redemption, learning to love yourself and come to terms with things that you've done in the past to grow as a person. And I think a lot of the characters are people that people can relate with, and I think the villains are really interesting as well. There's no it's not too black and white. It's all about the gray area of being on two sides of a war, being on two sides of a country transitioning to a modern setting from their original isolationist perspective too, with like the samurai and everything else. So I don't know. I'm really excited for this, and I encourage people to give it a try if they are interested. But I also don't blame people for not doing it. But yeah, so that's my big one. Jay, what about you?
Yeah, I don't really think there's anything on mine that we didn't mention. Bleach, Thousand Year Blood
Oh
War,
yeah.
Part 2. That shit's gonna be amazing. Every single episode of that was like movie quality for the first core. So I fully expect this one to be like no different. Expect to see a lot of people talking about that, and I will be talking about it as well. And then also, yeah, nope, that is really it for me actually. That I guess the second part
Liar,
of
liar.
Record of Ragnarok, like I'll
And,
probably peep that and Liar Liar, yeah,
and liar
right,
liar. Yeah.
of course.
Awesome,
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah, I think that wraps up everything that we will be covering for the summer season. I'm looking forward to doing our first impressions down the road and just seeing if any of our predictions stick the landing. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. If you have made this far and you want to support us, the best way to do so is like, comment, subscribe, leave a review on whatever platform you are watching or listening to us on. Next week for Watch Club, we are watching Kase-san in the Morning Glories. Really looking forward to that. It is my favorite Yuri of all time. Otherwise, in 2 weeks, if you're here for seasonal anime content, we have our spring review. I can't wait to talk about some of these shows and giving 2, possibly 3 tens. Yeah.
What's the third?
Golden Kamui. If it,
Okay.
yeah. So right now that's a solid 9, possible 10 based on how the season ends. Looking forward to that. Otherwise, thank you so much, and we will see you next time.